With a very distinct background in marketing. He's also a former Marine, so he brings that tenacity to it when we support his clients. But I think it's a very conversation because Cindy and I talked, and we all know about search engine optimization. You want to confirm, available. Your clients, your prospects, your vendors are maybe doing research on you, you do research on them. You maybe default to Google. But as everybody's paying attention, AI is sort of taking over the world. Where more and more people don't go to Google or Bing to do their search. They're going to AI or Claude asking about this firm. And so what Stephen Hall is going to do is a presentation to talk about what you need to think about as far as AI gets more and more pervasive in search engine, in marketing, and research, how you need to make yourself no longer SEO attractive, but GEO attractive. So I'm going to get over to Stephen Hall and then take it over for us.
Hey everyone, first off, thank you for having me. As Brian said, we've known each other for over 4 years at this point. I took a bit of a hiatus from my marketing practice, Stigmare, over the last 3 years as I got in the liquor industry. So for the last 3 years, we were rolling up distressed liquor stores under a single brand, and I just recently exited that investment at the end of October after 4xing top line revenue in less than 3 years, and I got a 3x return on my money. So I was very happy with that. How many investments do you all have that have 3x'd in the last 3 years? So I'm taking the lessons learned from that industry, plus just I'm a consummate learner. I define myself as a Renaissance man. I'm always learning. You know, when you stop learning, you stop living, you stop progressing, you stop improving your business. If I meet with someone and they say, you know, this is the way we've always done it, and I'm like, well, how long have you been doing it that way? And they say 20 years. Great, you've been doing it wrong for 19 because you haven't learned anything and improved. So with that said, I'll jump into the topic of the day, which is GEO. I've got little books for you guys. It's for you to follow along, take your notes. I am going to use some acronyms here and there. We have definitions of those acronyms in the book. That way we don't have to stop progress to answer questions like that, but I will take questions at the end. So the GEO Playbook for Commercial Construction, how CEOs and CFOs protect backlog margin in an AI search era. As Brian said, it's like he listed off a bunch of them. Even if you do go to Google, the first block now, instead of being their paid ads, are their AI overviews. And so I'll give you a great personal example that has nothing to do with business. The other day, my girlfriend and I decided we wanted to try something interesting from Wild Fork. Do they have Wild Forks down here? Okay, Wild Fork is basically a meat market. Everything there's frozen, but they have things like ostrich, gator, what did I have? Buffalo, kangaroo. I mean, the wild part of Wild Fork. So they have some game there. Went in and I got a buffalo roast and some ostrich steaks. I had no idea how to do those. So what did I do? Hey, Google, what can I do with this? Our ostrich steak dinner was derived from the entire menu that AI Overview and Gemini provided me. Didn't even question it, just okay. So that's a real world example that isn't business, but shows you how people trust the authoritativeness of AI. So we want them to find you when someone is looking for what you do. And so that's, silly stuff. You know who I am. All right, so, yep. What are we talking about? You know, managing backlog risk and thin margins. You know, and we're going to explain what's happening, what GEO is, and how to think about ROI. So again, you know, Brian said I was an old Marine, so you know, no jargon left behind. So there's some of the key jargon terms that we're going to be using: AI, AI assistant. So we all know what ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, Gemini are, LLM. So LLM is a technical term for what these AI search engines are. LLM stands for language learning models. The AI is constantly learning. Any Star Trek fans in here? You remember the Borg? AI is the Borg. It's the collective intelligence of everyone using whatever platform it is, providing it data, and then extracting data. It's a hive mind, for lack of a better word. SEO, we all know what SEO is. That's making sure that we get that blue link as close to the top of search in Google so that we are one of the first impressions they have above the fold, which increases our likelihood of being clicked on. There are a lot of SEO principles that can translate to GEO, but not all of them. AEO, Answer Engine Optimization. Another term for generative engine optimization. Right now, because this is such a new area of search, there are a half a dozen different acronyms that describe it. GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. Schema JSON. Okay, that's a technical nerd term. That's the code we put behind the website that no one sees, but helps the AI bots read your website. All right, so search has changed, your buyers have too. You know, everyone's using AI assistants now. ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, we're gonna beat those guys into death. Now the difference between AI and traditional search, instead of pages of links and trying to get your link to the top, they're only gonna mention the 3 most authoritative at best providers of whatever service the end user is searching for. So AI search visitors are actually at the end of their buying cycle. They are ready to buy now. 4.4 times more valuable than traditional organic conversion rates. 77% of ChatGPT users treat it as a search engine. We kind of touched on that. When Google shows an AI overview, click-through on classic links drops from 15% to 8%. So that arbitrage is going to the AI answers. Yes, sir?
What did the other 23% use?
Traditional search engines being Copilot, or honestly, a lot of, they use it to find out how to cook ostrich. It's like, yeah, they're just asking silly, simple questions.
Yeah, by default, that's always good.
Yeah, I mean,
ChatGPT or Claude asks a question.
it's like, for me as a marketer, I use ChatGPT to check my work. So if I'm gonna put a blog on my website, I'm like, fact check this. Make recommendations to improve it. You know, so, and I go a step further. I'll take the output from ChatGPT and I'll put it in Gemini and say, double check this work. And then I'll have ChatGPT double check Gemini's work. And then just hone it down until it is the best possible optimized content to then go onto my website. I use ChatGPT to help build this slide deck. So this isn't about traffic, it's about future backlog and cost of sales. So old playbook isn't enough anymore. Legacy focus, SEO only, higher ranks to get clicks. Like I said, it's like the AI overviews are showing up before they even see a link. So if they get the information they need from AI, there's no need for them to go further. I actually have a gentleman I met last night at a networking event. He uses a software called Go High Level. We use it too. It's an amazing CRM web marketing tool. And he's like, I'm having people reach out directly through AI overviews and AI answers. And I'm going back and I'm checking my marketing funnels and they didn't come in through those funnels. And that's how he's seeing it. So, but he's an active YouTuber and a content marketer. So the new stack, SEO plus AEO plus GEO. Again, AEO and GEO kind of work interchangeably. There are a lot of things that are a part of traditional SEO that you need to do as part of GEO, but there's a lot of things that are exclusive to GEO in terms of optimizing the content that's already on your site in the format that is easier for AI to read and understand. Because AI looks at content the same way your customer does. The customer goes and asks a question. And so adding things like FAQs on every page, like I recommend, it's like go to your business development guys. What questions are our prospects asking you? And then go and answer every one of those questions on your website. And not in a salesy way. Get technical. I mean, it used to be we had to write websites at a 6th grade level because, 20% of the US population is functionally illiterate. And another 50% can't read above a 6th grade level. I mean, even in the military, every manual was written at a 10th grade level. So, because AI wants to make sure that it's recommending the best options for the customer. It's like the whole business model of search engines is to make sure that they are giving good information to the consumer, because the consumer is ultimately while they're using the site, the consumer is basically the product. And they can't get the product to you if they're not giving accurate answers. Credibility is built on content. I can't speak today. Content depth. Market share is built on content scale. And this is where SEO blends with GEO. We've all said content is king. That's why blogging is such a highly recommended thing, because the more content you put out, the more regularly, the more often the bots are going to scan your site. How will AI search impact our pipeline and backlog? Well, like I said, if we've got a 4.4 times increase of conversion with someone that sees you in AI versus a traditional organic search. A lot of times when they're clicking blue links, they're still in the due diligence phase. They haven't even made the decision to move forward yet. They're just like, okay, let's get the short list together. What happens to cost per qualified opportunity? Well, if you've got a higher chance of conversion, your cost per, your ROAS goes down. I didn't put ROAS in there, so does anyone have any questions about ROAS?
What is it?
Return on advertising spent. All right, so can we maintain or improve margin as the mix shifts? Yes, because the way I approach GEO is I'm only going to do it for my most profitable services and the services I want to do. It's like my company, we do GEO, we do PR. I'll do content management on your Facebook page if you want and social media, but that's been so highly commoditized, that's not a profitable vertical. It's more of an add-on to a client that's doing some of the higher ticket things. So I'm not going to spend as much time focusing on GEO for my social media management as I am on my public relations, GEO, and growth architecture services, because those are higher margin services for us. So that's where you really need to sit down. It's like, what projects do we want to do that are the most profitable for us? And just really hone in on maybe 1 to 3 of those. GEO is a structured way to answer these questions. So we use a 3-pillar system: entity trust and verification, AI-ready content, and market-wide content. What I love is at pillar 1, a lot of that is very DIY. You guys don't need to hire someone like me or go to your SEO company or anything. You can basically have an admin or your internal marketing person take care of column 1. So AI goes out, is like, is this a real contractor? How many of you here have had bad experiences with a prospect because they got burned by a fly-by-night? I would imagine a lot of you. It's like there was just that example recently where that couple is now getting charged with fraud for what, $40 million in uncompleted projects?
Yeah, that's right.
What does that do to the reputation of the trade? So now everyone else has to overcome that. And AI is a great way to help you overcome that. So it's going to go out and it's like, do multiple sources agree who you are and where you operate? So how does that work? Are they safe to recommend? What it's looking for are these signals. NAP consistency, I don't think I included that. NAP is an acronym for name, address, phone number. So I'll use my company as an example because I'm cleaning all of this stuff up too, because this is 18 months old at this point. Not a lot of people are actually doing this right now. And so I used to present my company as Stigmare Couture Marketing because we focused very much on the fashion, luxury automobile, and luxury real estate verticals. Well, now I have to go out because I just operate under Stigmare. Now we operate under Stigmare Growth Architecture and Marketing. So now I have to go find all of those listings where I put Couture Marketing and change it to Growth Architecture and Marketing so that it's consistent everywhere. It's like, do I have an old phone number or an old email on that listing? We want to get all of that stuff consistent. So that's, like you said, if you've got an admin that's not doing anything, here's a list of where we've listed the business. Or go fund, if it's like, some of these things I don't even remember setting up because some of them you set it up on another service and then some other directory scrapes that service to populate theirs and you don't even know it's out there. Now there are tools that you can use to help find those types of things and make that process more efficient. So reviews. In the commercial side of things, I don't think a lot of us think to ask our customers for a Google review, but that is one of the things that AI is looking at, as well as Google itself. Awards, safety metrics. So when you get an award for a project, you put out a press release about it, you announce it, you put a blog post on your website. All of those types of things get you credibility. So, hey, we got, what's that, the green one, LEED certified?
Yes.
It's like, are we LEED certified? That's important to some people. It's like, hey, we just won fastest growing contractor in Waco. Did you publish that? So those types of things. Then there's like safety metrics. We haven't had an accident on one of our job sites in 5 years. Licenses, if there's any specialty licenses that you have, and then the schema, again, that's the on-page technical coding, which can help put all of those signals out there as well. Like I said, this is very easy DIY. So why do we want to do this? It increases the odds that you're included when AI lists providers. It reduces the risk of bad or outdated data hurting perception. And it strengthens digital due diligence for lenders, sureties, and large owners. Hey, we like these guys because they're LEED certified and they have a clean safety record and OSHA hasn't crawled up their butt.
You're sure to get right now.
I'm racking my brain about this. We're looking at contractors.
Yeah.
Okay, AI doesn't see pretty pages. So like if any of you go to my website after this presentation, you will notice there are not a lot of photos on my website. It is designed to be text heavy because that's what AI can read. Now, humans are a little bit different, so it's like that, and I'm a great copywriter. I am not a graphics person, and right now I'm deciding whether or not I want to pay what my graphics person wants to charge to pretty it up. So I know all about, that robbing Peter to pay Paul and managing budgets and priorities. Q&A shapes. So like I said, it's like, get those frequently asked questions from your sales team. Get them to log them. Figure out how to create a shared file where they can just input them into a spreadsheet and see how many of them repeat, because those are the ones that you would want to put on your website, since that's the ones that most of your customers are concerned about. So at a glance summaries, you don't need to, you can do the paragraphs. It's great for traditional SEO, but bullet points work just fine as well. And making sure that we're using consistent language around delivery methods and product types. This is another tool. This is another way that I use ChatGPT. Is like, I'm in the process of doing everything we're talking about to my own website, and I'm just doing it one vertical at a time. And I'll go in and I'm like, hey, ChatGPT, review this page on my website and tell me if it is consistent with our brand voice and our target demographic. Because I've taught AI to do that. I created a brand voice, so it knows how to write it so it sounds like I want it to sound. And so those are all other little parts of it. AI-ready content. Why does this matter to you? Fewer unqualified inquiries, so you're not burning RFP time. How many of you have gotten an RFP and you're like looking at it, it's like, well, I need the money, but I don't think that this person is a good fit for us, but we're going to do it anyway. Why not reduce that? Clearer positioning and better win rates. It's like, if you say exactly who you are, you're not getting the tire kicker. It's like, hey, well, can you do this? Can you do that? More accurate AI descriptions equals fewer wrong fit conversations. Again, it's all about optimizing the time and making sure that your business development team is sitting in front of a qualified lead. Pillar 3, this is the market-wide content. So this is content domination. Owners and developers ask AI for the best GC in their market. Are you showing up? Pillar 3 maps that question space, ensures AI finds your content as the best answer to become the default recommendation in your category. So this is real. I mean, we've all said it. It's like, we need to understand what we're really offering. Too many people, I've sat across so many contractors and other business owners and other entities and go, so who's your customer? Oh, everyone. No, that is not true. Everyone is never your customer. There are people out there that you do not want to work with and you are not the best provider for. But sometimes we lose sight of that. And so if you get really honed in on what projects do I really want? These are the projects we love to do, that we are best in class for, and make us the most money. So why it matters, like I said, more qualified opportunities in your target sectors and regions. It's like, I've got a contractor that we're in talks with right now, and he works in 20 states. And I'm like, well, which one makes you the most money? It's like, did you do one project in Nebraska, or do you have a pipeline of 50? So,
What do they do?
mostly like franchise quick serve restaurant build outs. So they've got several franchise groups that they're basically the preferred provider for. A strong backlog mix by project size, delivery method, and owner profile. So those are what we need to look at. What size project, both dollar-wise and time commitment-wise, do we want? It's like, do we want a bunch of $20,000 jobs that don't make us any money and tie up resources? Or do we want fewer $500,000 jobs to give us a better ROI and are really in our wheelhouse? Long-term share of AI voice, not just Google rankings. Because AI, as long as you're providing that content that makes you the dominant thought leader in your space, it's going to keep doing it. It's not like SEO where if Google decides, hey, we're seeing a lot of this shady technique being used by SEO people, we need to change our algorithm so that that doesn't affect our search rankings, so that we're delivering better results to our users. I mean, that's the hard part about traditional SEO is sometimes you could be doing everything right, and then Google changes the algorithm, and now you've dropped. Gartner has predicted by 2030, 30 to 37% of all search will be on AI. DIY versus specialist. We kind of went over a lot of this. Like I said, that entire first column and even into the second column, in pillar 1 and pillar 2, a lot of that can be DIY. You know, where we really come in, or another provider like us, is when you've done all the basic stuff that you can do, and you need someone to do the technical stuff on the back end in the coding of the website.
To that point, Stephen, like websites now, I mean, a lot of beautiful visuals and videos, you scroll down, and I think still the average person want to see it, but if I understand, you have maybe a backside or invisible.
Yeah, there's the invisible, and that's where the JSON and the schema come in. Those are all code that you put onto that page that the AI sees, but the consumer doesn't.
Okay.
It would just look, and it wouldn't even impact white space or anything like that. It's just code that's on. That's where, if you've ever sat down with an SEO person and they go on page versus off page, that's what they're talking about. So on page is what you see, off page is the code.
Is it inquiring how well written that code is, or how properly?
There is a format specifically for it. It's a specific, yeah. So AI native content architecture and schema. So like we said, that's kind of the code. It's also how you lay out your content strategy on your site too. So there's a concept in both GEO and SEO. This is just old school traditional content marketing, is you create a pillar page. So for example, this presentation came from multiple blogs that I have put on my website. Started off with what's called a pillar post, which it covers all 3 of the pillars that we discussed today at a very high level. And then you do a separate blog for each one of the pillars, and they all link back between each other. So you have your internal linking within your website, which increases your SEO. And then you have multiple blog posts on that content. So if someone searches for that, next thing you know, AI is regurgitating what's on your blog, but it's also down in the blue links showing all of the blue links to the different blog posts. Does that make sense? If only it was that simple from the algorithm standpoint, but that is the high level theory. And that's where like the native content architecture, that's what they're talking about. It's like I've got it kind of in place for our GEO services. It does need some tweaking, but so now I'm working on one of our secondary service, public relations. Mapping and covering your full AI query landscape. And again, a lot of this is just, it's making sure that you're knowing how customers are searching for you. And that's why it's like, I'm going to beat this dead horse. Get your business development guys to log the questions that are being asked. There's actually AI tools out there where you can actually have an app on your phone and say, hey, Mr. Prospect, do you mind? I'm a terrible note taker. Do you mind if I record this? And the app records it. And then when the meeting's done, the app emails you a summary of the meeting, the bullet points that were discussed, and may even, hey, Mr. Business Development Executive, I've drafted this follow-up email for after the meeting. Would you like me to send it?
Yeah, Teams does that. I use that on a regular basis where video records it. Once that comes up with a summarization of the meeting, and then also has a transcript. Yeah, well, and yeah, a lot like all the video ones have that. I mean, this can be in an in-person meeting. You put your phone down. So these are all different things that can
B weighs at A. It's like, so the 90-day GEO sprint. All right, weeks 1 through 3, entity, trusted, and baseline. So that's all that NAP stuff. That's going through and making sure that everywhere you are listed on the internet, it is Joe's Construction, 214-111-2222. Everything's, Joe at joesconstruction.com. And that's the same everywhere. 4 through 7, AI-ready content transformation. This is just where you're going through and you're doing exactly what I did. Acting as a content marketing specialist, review this website for us and ensure it is in our brand voice and is optimized for AI search overviews. And it will rewrite it for you. Ask me any questions before you proceed. Because it's like, that's my favorite prompt to include in any AI prompt. Ask me questions before you proceed. Don't let AI assume for you. Because I've put that in there and it still assumed and it gave me bad content and I had to go back. It's like, you didn't follow my prompt. AI's output is not perfect. AI is like an entry-level employee. You have to train it. If you don't train it, oops, that's all right, I don't need that anyway. If you don't train it, it's going to garbage in, garbage out. Then you got 8 through 12. This may be where you go to your PR company and you say, hey, we just finished this great project. The customer loves us. They told us this, that, or the other about what they appreciated about the project. Can you send out a press release? Get out there, because in a minute, I'll have you all search for my company on your phones. Yes, sir.
You always encourage contractors to get feedback.
Yeah.
And an evaluation of their performance on a job. Are there certain bullet points that you should have whoever you did the job for cover that would bubble up through AI? I mean, certain things like timeliness, budget, accuracy.
Yeah. Hey, we worked with Joe's contractor to build our new restaurant. Joe finished the project 2 weeks earlier, came in 10% under budget, and exceeded our expectations with the finish out.
Have you worked at a list like that?
I haven't, because just like, I'll use the example of getting a negative review on your Google business profile. It's not, Google doesn't look that you got a negative review. It looks at, did you reply to that negative review, solve whatever the consumer was concerned about, and then got them to edit that review. Does that make sense? It's kind of, Bill Gates said it best. It's my detractors are my best customers because they make me better. But the more genuine it is and the more authentic it is, because we don't want to hand the customer a script and say, hey, write this, because then all of your reviews are going to appear manufactured like Amazon did in its early days, where it was having employees write reviews on the books. And they finally got caught doing that. And I think that, I don't know if they got fined for it, but the practice had to be discontinued. And then the thing about 90 days is it's short enough to test. You can do a baseline. It's like, run an audit. Are we showing up under these 3 services that we want to recommend? Was there any change at the end of 90 days in how we're showing up? Because a lot of this, it's like there's theory, but there are no guarantees. Just like there's no guarantee. Anyone that tells you they can get you to the top of Google in 30 days is lying to you. So 90-day sprint gives you good data. It's like, okay, well, we tried it's like, do we have enough FAQs? Is there something wrong with the schema? It's like, what's going on? So it's very much like a post-mortem on a project. Okay, we finished this project. What went right? What went wrong? Where can we improve? Where are the inefficiencies that we can eliminate and not sacrifice quality or get ourselves in trouble with a regulator? So just a little bit more details, weeks 1 through 3, audit and fix identity and reputation data. Go out and find those negative reviews and see if you can get them to turn around. Hey, what happened here? How can we make this right? Get them to take a 2-star review into a 4-star review. Implement foundational trust in business schema. That's like, okay, we got to figure out how do we increase our trust to the consumers? Well, part of that, it's like, hey, we have these certifications, we have these licenses, we have this safety record. And then kick off a review and proof strategy. It's like, how are we going to test that what we just did is working? Then outcome, you get clean, verifiable digital footprint. And the funny thing is, like, a lot of times with reviews, there are AI tools out there that can handle those as well. I got a 5-star review from a contract that I worked with for 5 years. I saw the review, I was busy, I didn't have time to reply for it. 3 hours later, I look and there's a comment that my AI answered the review. We talked about this, rewrite 3 to 5 highest value pages. Add the Q&A summaries and structured data around those key services and markets. Align the language with how owners actually ask the questions. I think I've beat that horse enough. Outcome, your site becomes more AI readable and more AI quotable. 8 through 12, now we're mapping out those high value questions. It's like, these are our preferred customers. These are the projects where we're making a 50% gross margin. I don't know what margins are in the construction trade, so I just create.
Depends.
What's that?
It depends.
It depends?
Yeah.
Well, that's everything. It's like, I know all that too well. You've created the content to answer those questions clearly. You've started monitoring AI answers for where your firm appears or doesn't, and you begin to show up in a new layer of demand. Okay, simple ROI. Okay, pre-GEO, you were getting 100 organic visits per month and 3 real opportunities, and you closed one of them, right? With AI and GEO, but you're getting fewer clicks, but you have a 4.4 times better conversion rate. So now you're getting 6 to 7 real opportunities that month. Laws of averages, you're closing 2 to 3 of those. So if you get 1 to 2 extra awarded projects per quarter, that more than covers the cost of GEO. Like I said, less time on burned or bad fit RFPs, more inbound opportunities aligned with your growth strategy, better, healthier backlog in the sector size of projects and margins that you're looking for. So right now, like I said, we're at the crossroads. SEO is still dominant. People are still doing it. It's slowly, it's what I call a controlled crash. It's there, they know it's going away, and the folks that are gonna adopt AEO or GEO are gonna dominate. I figure we have about a 3-year window to maximize GEO and dominate markets. It's built for high ticket complex services like commercial construction. So you've got the little 8-page kind of follow along guide with the slide deck. I have a 30-page playbook that I am more than happy to send you guys if you want one. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff in there on what you can do yourself. If you decide you're getting to the point where you need someone to do some heavy lifting, of course, we'd love to have the opportunity to have the conversation. But
So Steve, you mentioned earlier, talk to general contractors and talk to the firms, right?
Yeah.
What's been sort of because like construction is one of the firms industry very slow to uptake, to adopt new things.
they're very traditional.
Yeah. But are you seeing, as far as what's been allowing you to open people's eyes on this or get them to understand?
It's tough because a lot of them are still trying to I've literally had conversations with people that still think the internet's a fad. Or like the one I get all the time, we get all of our business through referrals. And I'm like, you know what? That is awesome. But business through referrals is not a growth strategy, it's a wish. Because you don't know, yes, you may get some referrals, maybe you have a steady stream of them. Great, that's the gravy. But not having any type of real growth strategy where you're even, what happens if one of these referrals goes out and looks you up and they can't find you? Or they find you and they don't see what they're looking for, and then that referral's dead. Or they do have a conversation and you find out that referral wasn't a good fit for your projects. You know, I've gotten referrals and after the conversation I'm like, great, well, thank you for reaching out. It's like, it doesn't sound like we're the right fit for you, but hey, let me refer you to this person over here because they're a better fit for where you're at. And that can be anything from budget to they're looking for their expectations of results versus the reality of marketing. I mean, there's an old saying in marketing, 50% of my budget is wasted. I just don't know what 50%. Was that Ogilvy? No, that wasn't Ogilvy. Anyway, sorry.
About science too.
What's that?
50% is incorrect. We just don't know what 50% is.
Yeah. And so,
I'm having a conversation with a owner of a very sizable site utility, self-performing sub, and actually he's an older gentleman, big old burly guy. But he actually is very big in the content marketing because we're having this conversation and it's free advertising to help build a brand. How do you envision content marketing AI?
So when we were talking about those structured pillars and content domination, content marketing is a key element of GEO. It was a nice to have for SEO. It is critical for GEO because it's going to go out there and it's going to look like that. And the more authoritative it's like, if you're just pushing content that's wishy-washy and hasn't and just stuff full of keywords, it's not going to look at that. If you put something out there that is much more technical and more like I said, it's like pick a question that a customer asked you and have ChatGPT write a blog post about it. Mm-hmm. And find outside in other articles to reference within that article, because then those things help build it. Right now, a big part of how GEO is working is you're going to see a resurgence in traditional PR. You're going to see a lot more people putting press releases out. So that was like...
Why do you say that? Because you know my wife's background, but why do you say that?
Because those are third-party references on a trusted source. So if you put out a press release and Yahoo Finance publishes that press release, AI trusts Yahoo Finance.
Okay.
AI trusts Business Insider. AI trusts CBS News, NBC News, ABC News. And so this might be a good opportunity. I don't know how this is going to work on the folks with Apple because I don't own Apple products, so I've never tested it on Safari. But if you want to hop into your search browser and type in Stigmare, I'd love to see what pops up.
In Google? Anything?
Google, Bing.
Okay.
Like I said, I've tested it with Google. I know what should show up with Google.
STIG?
Mare. And it may depend.
Well, on very top, you're saying Stigmare growth architecture marketing.
Now, is there an AI overview?
Well, actually, yeah. Stigmare is a veteran on the growth of architecture marketing. So you're right there at the top.
Yep. And if you look in the upper right-hand corner on Google, it will show you all the sources that it pulled from. I can see a CBS and Market Insider logo.
Well, also, I noticed when I typed it in, it completed the .com and went almost to your website. So if I go here and then do, or just whatever it is that comes up there at the top.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right, look at that. Now, granted, that was my business name, but if you're out at a networking event and someone says, Joe is pretty cool. Let me look into his company and see if they do what we need. And that
I have a few questions for you.
Absolutely. Fire away.
The original contract you mentioned, the franchisee, works with franchisees and whatnot.
Yeah.
If he's working for traditional franchisees, he's the go-to guy for whatever states that he's in. How are you helping him? I'm just curious, you're bringing another opportunity
Sure.
to those franchisees?
So that right now is their bread and butter market, but they want to enter a couple of new markets.
Okay.
So they're those quick serve franchises are their bread and butter. The franchisors are sending the people to them. So that's a nice steady referral stream. And I'm like, great, that covers your nut. That pays your bills, but we need growth. You said you want to get into inpatient healthcare for autistic children. Okay, that means we need to figure out how to make you look like you know what you're doing now.
Where are they going?
Yeah, so that they want to get it, they want to go into those types of mental health care clinics. They want to expand into fine dining, which is a completely different level of finish out interior wise than a quick serve restaurant that is bare bones and just a bunch of subway tile.
Sure.
So yeah, so it's like how do we make you look like an expert now while you build your portfolio in those?
Because I'm thinking through how this would help a large GC or something like that, because most of that stuff is, like say Bill Children's wants to expand a hospital somewhere. They know the 6 contractors they're going to talk to already. So you being on a search engine they're not looking there. If you're presenting, an RFP or something like that, the presentation you're giving them, they're not going online to search your website to get that information. You're providing it. Or even for a water treatment plant contractor that's building wastewater treatment plants, that type of thing. You're approaching the county or wherever you're doing the work for. You're going to search out those bids or whatnot, the opportunities. Your known subcontractors. I'm just trying to think about where you. But
how are they doing their due diligence after you've submitted the RFP? What are they? It's
it's a public entity, so they're just basically looking at their packet they provided you to fill out.
Okay.
So you're providing them all the information.
Okay.
I'm just curious about how that would help the folks that I deal with. And it's
no.
Provide the information, but that's not.
It provides the information, but it doesn't provide the reputation.
They would go to the website and still do information for whatever your subcontractor. The package is but they're going to look and do research and find have you been putting any lawsuits?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And that's where, that's where, especially on the PR side of the GEO.
I think you'd want to hide those, though.
Well, you can, that's what.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. So yes, if there's any bad stuff, you want to know how you get the bad stuff to the bottom of Google, put out a bunch of your own stuff and flood the zone.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about how.
No, I get it.
And their backlog and some of that, because as I'm thinking of it, it seems like, to your point, construction is very slow, but a lot of the models that are set up for winning work are old school.
Yeah.
And until those change, they're not really going to have a reason to change to just fit in that model. And so I'm trying to think through where you could be the value add.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're just.
And here's the thing: I'm not going to be a right fit for everyone.
Yeah. No, and that's
It's like, so if their primary category is civil or government contracts, then like you said, it's an RFP process. I don't know enough about the backside of that due diligence process to say I can absolutely add value, but like Brian said, there is a due diligence process that the contractor does not see. And part of that, I would assume, would be some sort of reputation or...
Well, I'm also thinking just like myself, because I'm having to go this process state for my roof. At some point, I need a roofer. I mean, if this applies to commercial, and anyone this applies to residential, then me, I'm gonna go up and say, next time, I actually probably do it over the weekend, I'll go to Claudia. Can you give me some recommendations for roofers in Dallas County?
Yeah, because especially, it's like,
Residential all day long, like pool builder or something,
Yeah.
luxury home builder in the area, or,
yeah, more, I mean, yeah, for the consumer contractor, but there's still,
I've had these conversations with developers who are new to the area. They don't know anybody. You know, I take that as advantage.
well, and that's what I was thinking too, a new emerger in a market.
hey, ABC mechanical contractor opens office in Dallas, Fort Worth.
But I would have a
Here's-
lot of questions about all the people that didn't know who was looking to do a business.
You're like at the tip of the spear that gets, go to Dallas. Okay, they don't know anybody.
Yeah. It's like, so this is, getting those questions answered. It's like, hey, well, we're new to Dallas. We've been in Minneapolis, St. Paul for 50 years. Here's all the projects we've been a part of. Here's what all of our clients say about us. And so you can target it to the, like I said, like market was one of the things that was in our punch list. So, let's say this contractor that's doing all of these franchises decides, okay, well, I'm done building Jollibees in Nebraska. I want to find, some hospital systems I want to work with, or I want to find some fine dining restaurants that are growing in the area or want to put into the area.
Well, in fairness, it's a selfish question for me because I'm in a very small silo of the construction world.
No, but that's the thing.
That's silo-specific question.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I would argue for you down the road, if you guys are doing shit, I talk to you underwriters all the time, you're always asking questions about my clients, whether surety or property casualty. What's the first thing you guys do? You go to the internet, you do research on what's going out there, and so if anything to clean up, to your point, get rid of the bad stuff and put the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if
Some of my biggest contractors don't even have a website, and they're doing like $100 million a year.
That's
Because they don't need it, because they've done business off referral. They're just, people know who they are. Their phone's ringing off the hook. It's God bless them, right?
Yeah, no, it's like, dude, I would pay good money to have that level of pipeline.
The website is picture at the top ribbon, home, about, services, contact, and contact is literally like a box. And then,
those are beauties, those are for sure. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, a simple one pager like that, or it's like, or just a gallery that has like, not stop motion. What's the other one? The one where the video goes real fast. Time lapse.
Yeah.
Hey, here's our portfolio, and it's just a bunch of time lapse videos of a building going up.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned that we do go such a website because we can pull a lot of history information about a company, and the funny enough is sometimes if I'm a new underwriter on the account, somebody's got it wrong in the description where it's like, this company's 50 years old. Well, actually, they're 82 years old. If you went to the website, you know that.
But to your point, I've had this conversation so many times. I'll submit a submission to you, like you concerned, and they'll go to the client's website and they said they'll make some sort of reference to multifamily. And some carriers say, we don't do multifamily, we're not going to do it. And then you go back to the insurer. Yeah, we did that a long time ago. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and so that's like making sure your site's updated and current. But a lot of people,
Yes.
yeah, it's like a lot of people do that. They build the website and it's like a time capsule.
Yeah.
You go in and it's copyrighted 2016. It looks like it was built by a 9th grader.
My wife's in development, so she'd probably be a great person to talk to because she's the tip of the spear for that type of stuff, very in person and whatnot. And
Yeah.
she's part of a contractor they know they have a client list they're working for. They're not. They're pretty specific about who they go after, and they're international, so it's different worlds.
No,
But-
hey, and yeah.
But, yeah.
So
Yeah.
what we're saying is there's things that you can do personally that'll impact your visibility on an AI platform.
Yes.
So how, and I'm just curious about how Google is advertising, right? So I'm assuming these AI models are also taking some form of subscription dollars to be promoted.
No.
Recommendation. You're saying there's no advertising going on.
You can't pay to show up in an AI overview. All of those paid ads on Google show up underneath the AI overview. Well, and that's why I said there's probably a 3 to 5 year window.
I would think they're gonna
Yeah, at some point.
At some point, they have to monetize it. Well, it's like most of the AIs, they're monetizing by getting people like Brian and I to pay them a subscription
Yeah.
so that we can have unlimited use of it. Because they do, yeah. It's like, oh, you get this, like a new one that's been released through Google is called Nano Banana. Silly name, but it's a really strong like video graphics generator.
Mhm.
And if I want to use it, I got to pay Google more money to use it.
No, there's definitely shopping going on with AI. And, you know, it's a trusted source.
Yeah, I mean,
You say, here's what I'm looking for, and here's the specs of what I'm trying to buy, and it promotes Amazon links and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess we're sort of in a space where subscription models, subscription from a user standpoint is there, but not from a business to business standpoint. That's
yeah, in terms of like a market, that's not there. So this is very much like the SEO world where it's all about organic and just changing the way you're presenting the information on your website so that it's more readable to AI.
So we're going to go back to the 90s websites where it's just HTML text.
I mean, the great thing is you can do the pretty stuff, but you just have to do the right technical stuff on the
We
backside.
have two websites. One for
I mean, basically, you are, when you say coding,
Yeah.
coding is aligned, yes, yeah, exactly.
I know now if I